Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our press conference. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. If you're joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions, and we will address questions in the room first and then get to our Zoom callers if time allows. Again, recording press conferences on cell phones and camera is prohibited. We'll have our opening statement from coach, and then we will have time for the athletes, and then followed by questions for the coach.
Yeah, just incredibly grateful for the win. We don't take any win for granted, and we respect everybody. We just don't fear anybody. So we came out with the intent to respect our opponent and play until the buzzer ended. I was really happy that I was able to almost play everybody on the roster. I thought that the seniors were locked in, and it showed on the court. So we're one of the 32 teams that will be moving on, and that means something to me, these players, and this program.
All right, we will start with questions for our athletes. And Ms. Evelyn, did you have a question? Oh, take your mic and then say your name and your affiliation.
Evie Van Pelt with the Rebel Walk. Kennedy, what was working for you out there? I mean, both of y'all, double-doubles, so.
Yeah, just being active, being on the glass. Coaches told us before we can rebound on this team. And so I think we really took that, personal to, do that, and very intentional about that. And then I think our energy, we don't want to go home. So, just a level of intent to, just leave it all out there on the court.
I definitely agree. Playing every game like it's our last. So we know they've been saying all week, one game at a time, and this is the road to Tampa. So I think taking each game by game and doing everything we had, that's what lit the fire under us.
How did y'all keep your intensity up? Because you were up, once you got up in the second quarter, and then you got up by double digits, but it just seemed your physicality was so dominating, and you just were so intense. How did you not have any kind of letdown up that much?
I think that's our that's what we do. We're a defensive team. I think that's what gets us going. So, we're told we have to play defense 40 minutes a game. So, that is what carries over and makes us come out on top like we did tonight.
And I think the biggest thing is our bench coming in, giving those good minutes is what's going to be needed, to give us a little bit of break, but, also see them, get their flow. So I thought it was really good to see that.
All right, I believe we have a question from Associated Press.
Skylar Dixon with the AP. Kennedy, you all both having double-doubles kind of illustrated how you all dominated the game. The rebounding numbers were decidedly in your favor. Did you anticipate that going in, or was it part of the game plan, or how did you see that unfolding? Yeah,
it was a part of the game plan. I know I have to get on the glass. Starr is always on the glass, and so I wanted to give her some extra help. And so I think it alleviated some pressure, not just on Starr, in our bigs, but also from a guard standpoint, we have to be on the glass as well. So I think that was really good, and it was really good for me to, see that I was able to get those rebounds. So it kind of opened it up.
And Starr, I know you all wanted to be at home, probably deserved to be at home, but are you enjoying being in Texas, sort of close to home?
I love being in Texas. But it's a great feeling being back home and having people come out and support you and being able to. But like Maddie said before, our defense travels. So, it was a great win for us. And no matter where we play, I think we're going to play the same.
Elijah, did you have a question?
Elijah Pope, Ball State Daily News. You guys had 27 in the third quarter. What did you see that Ball State defense was doing that you guys could take advantage of?
I honestly think that, our defense transitioned to our offense. I think in transition, we were just out there just running. I think we executed really well on the offensive end, but it really started from the defensive end. So,
I agree.
All right. Do you have any other questions for the athletes? Max?
Max Robson, Newslink, Indiana. Obviously, as you said, it's kind of the road to Tampa Bay here. with this win, obviously a lot went well, but what's something that you need to work on to make sure that you're getting past round 2?
I would say just keeping the same intensity, not letting up. I mean, respecting everybody that we go against, but fearing nobody. So just keeping that same level of energy to take us all the way. And like I say, defending. That's what gets us going, getting stops, kills, and that's what ignites us.
All right. Any other questions? If not, we can let the ladies go celebrate.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start with questions for the coach. AP?
Well, Yolette, not to bring up bad memories, but you're happier now than you were 3 years ago in not this building, but in this city. How gratifying is it to come back here with that history and have you all play the way you played?
Well, I'll tell you this, once we found out that, once I realized that we wouldn't be playing in the same building, I felt like the juju was lifted. And it's funny that you said that, because I just told Maddie, I said, it feels like a huge weight off of our shoulders, because she was here with me. But I didn't really allow it to affect, the game plan, because we're just such a different team now. And that was our first time going to the tournament. And I think it was only like 3 of us in the whole room that had been to the tournament. The only people that hadn't experienced NCAA tournament on this team are the freshmen. So, and 4 of the players had experienced Sweet 16. So we feel confident and more prepared. But it was a sigh of relief. I did think it was in the back of my mind.
All right, Evelyn, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was here for that,
I
and I
know,
remember
Evie.
Shakira, and it was just, gosh, it was hard to watch when you were a 7 seed, and I think South Dakota maybe was a 10 seed, so just quite a juxtaposition between that game and this game. And what's interesting to me, I went back and looked at your quotes after that game, and one of the things you said, besides "we'll be back and we'll continue to grow," you said, "It gives me great joy this program is headed in the right direction." So you actually used the word joy.
There you go.
Which is Team 50's word. What have you learned maybe in those ensuing 3 years?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think I've learned more than anything just to stay, to have a level of humility, to always look at things half glass full. Did we want to host? Of course, but I couldn't even bring myself to complain when the first 2 years we won like 4 conference games. I'm just not going to ever forget that. So for me, I count it all joy, seriously. And I think the humility that it took to understand where we were and where we're trying to go. And we hadn't looked back. And this is our 4th consecutive year in the NCAA tournament. And I just think I'm always going to just be grateful for the opportunity to lead this team. Grateful for my administration for sticking by me. People don't do that now. And it's paid off. And grateful for the players that decide to come and join us at Ole Miss.
All right. Do you have any other questions on the floor?
It's a 1-point game, fairly late first quarter. I think a 12-0 run going into the second kind of solidified you all a little bit. What do you think happened? What sort of clicked for you all?
Well, we had been off almost 2 weeks, so it's like a long time. And we just had to get some anxiety, some rust off. And I can tell because they were incredibly winded, and I don't know how, because we've been like on vacation for 2 weeks. So I just started really subbing and getting bodies in so that we can just, I felt like we had more depth, and we were able to just get bodies in and keep the whole team fresh. And so we just needed time to settle in. And hopefully we don't have to settle in on Sunday. It's go time playing Baylor at home.
Do you have any other questions from the floor? Yes, Max?
So as Kennedy said earlier, they really had their defense turned straight into offense, and you kind of nodded in agreement there.
Yeah.
What was those defensive keys that Ball State kind of gave to let you take over that game in the defensive way?
Well, you know what? I don't know, how much you've looked into us, but that's what we do. So, we haven't been playing, like, our strength of schedule is a 3. Our last loss was against the number 1 team in the country. So we're no strangers to playing elite level talent and dictating and disrupting. And so we weren't going to change anything for Ball State. Like I said, we respect everybody. So we just came in and instilled our defensive system, which is to dictate and disrupt, and then offensively is to rebound, run, and share the ball. We had a letdown, honestly, in the fourth quarter, but I played some people that usually don't get minutes. And for me, it's about creating moments for everybody. And so, I'm not quite happy that they scored 65 points, but like I said, half glass full, right? So it was more important to give some people some opportunities to create a memory for themselves and create moments for themselves. But we just that's what we do. That is our identity. So we just kind of imposed our will on them.
All right, Jerry Hill.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Coach, you talked about it. You were able to play a lot of minutes,
Yeah.
maybe not expend as many minutes with the starters. How much does that help, when you've got a quick turnaround like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. It's here's the thing. A day in between is big for us. In the SEC, it was like every day. But again, I want to play as many people as possible. Honestly, if I could play 10, I would play 10 on a consistent basis, just because how hard we defend and how hard we run on offense. We try to control the pace. I don't think you could control the pace if you can't go into your bench. But I was very proud that we were able to give a lot of players an opportunity today to get that experience. It would have kind of sucked if some of these kids never had the chance to get out and play and their parents watch them and stuff like that. I'm a mom of 2. I know what it feels like. So if I could get them in, that's important for me, for them to be able to play in front of friends and family.
All right, any more questions from the floor? I know Sasha Lightborn is ready to ask you a question.
Of course, 242.
Let me unmute her real quick. I don't think there we go. No, she's not unmuted. There we go. Oh, what did I do? I'm so sorry, Sasha. Daniel, can you unmute her for me? That's mine. Yeah. There we go. Sasha, are you there?
It's the millennial in me.
Yes, I am. Coach,
Hey.
it's always so good to see you on this stage. And for me, coming from the Bahamas, you are a big inspiration. Bobby said on Sunday, our defense traveled. Do you think that was the key to this game? And what improvements do we have to make? And I'm going to say we because I'm on the team. What improvements do we have to make in terms of making sure that defense is intact for Baylor come Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Our defense, that is our identity. If you look at our packing list when we distribute it to our players, and you say socks and stuff like that, on top it says defense. So we pack our defense in our suitcase and we travel with it because, today, uncharacteristically, KK went 0 for 6. But she was guarding, she was defending, and was able to impact the game. So we don't really allow our offense to dictate how we're gonna play. As far as Baylor's concerned, I need to watch a little bit more film on them. I don't like to get ahead. My assistants will have the scout ready. I didn't really watch them, but I do watch a lot of basketball, and I know that they're a really good team. And so schematically, we'll have to make sure we're on the same page defensively. But we're gonna do what we do. Hey, we play in the Southeastern Conference. All right, we play against Madison Bookers and and Flajay Johnson. We play against pros, Michaela Blakes, every single night. This will be no different. We'll be ready.
All
I
right.
do have one more question if I can.
Yes, please.
Coach, this Ole Miss on the men's side, they also won.
Yeah.
Just talk to me about the program, the basketball
Yeah.
program in general, and how it makes you feel to be a part of both teams being in this tournament and both teams winning today.
Yeah, the other day I tweeted everything school. It would be selfish of me just to talk about men and women's basketball, but I was elated that Coach Baird and his crew pulled out. A lot of people was talking a lot of trash. So we represented today on both ends. But our rifle team just won big. Our softball team is, they may be undefeated. If not, I know they won like a bunch of games. Baseball, track just won a championship. We're everything school, and that is a testament to, first of all, our Chancellor Boyce, and then our AD and our administration. Keith, Jen, the whole crew, they support us. We do operate like a small market NBA team, but we know how to make it work, and because there are certain type of kids that fit at Ole Miss, certain type of people that fit at Ole Miss, and all of the coaches have done an excellent job going out there and identifying that. So I think we're everything school, but I'm super pumped for our men's team as well.
All right. I don't believe we have any more questions from Zoom. One more chance to ask questions from the floor.
Thank you.
If not, thank you and congratulations, Coach. All right. Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference